Among the Hidden by Margaret Peterson Haddix tells the story of Luke, a shadow child. This book is set in a near future where society was on the brink of collapsing due to food shortages and overpopulation. To fix the mess humanity made, the government put in place the population law. Much like China's recently lifted population control, this law only allows women to have 2 children. Once they have their second child, things are done to prevent any more. And if those preventions do not work, the woman is forced to get rid of the baby. The rest of the book chronicles Luke's lonely life of staying hidden as an illegal third child until he notices a strange face in his neighbor's window one day. He finally meets a shadow child named Jen who has been kept hidden just like him. Jen changes Luke's world when she teaches him the truth behind their totalitarian government. The fact that the government is controlling women's reproductive rights is biopolitics. If this sounds familiar to the real world, it most certainly is. In 1973, Roe v. Wade ruled that a woman's right to abortion is protected under the federal Constitution. It states that a government may not prohibit a woman from obtaining an abortion. However, since this landmark decision, some states have done their best to block women from getting abortions and even sex education. Forcing a woman to get rid of her baby is just the same as forcing a woman to have one. It should not be the government's place. These statistics show us that poor people are not only unable to get medically necessary abortions, they are unable to get abortions, period. While the rich can use their private insurers to prevent birthing a child, even then, 11 states will restrict private insurance coverage of abortion, with the exception of the mother's health being endangered. If a woman can't even afford an abortion, imagine how tough raising a child is going to be. Similar to Among the Hidden, the rich citizens could pay under the table to have a third child, while the impoverished did not have any other options. A study featured in The Atlantic showed that only 11% of wealthy women were not using contraceptives, while women in the poorest income group had numbers more than twice as high not using contraceptives. Similarly, abortions are given to 31.9% of the wealthiest women and only 8% of the poorest. Programs like Planned Parenthood help women pay for such things as contraceptives, but their funding is under attack as well. The Trump administration signed a law earlier this year cutting funding for Planned Parenthood and other family planning groups, as well as Arkansas's Governor Asa Hutchinson cutting funding drastically for Planned Parenthood and ending the Medicaid funding completely. Much like Haddix's world in Among the Hidden, the government leaves them with no option if they get pregnant, just like our government taking away funding for contraceptives to prevent pregnancies, as well as preventing funding for abortions. So how can you help? There is a ton of misinformation circulating about Planned Parenthood. Do your research and correct those who are misinformed. Be supportive of women who have received an abortion or need an abortion. Do not judge them. Call your state legislators to encourage them to keep funding in Planned Parenthood and other family planning groups. Volunteer at local Planned Parenthoods and other family planning groups. Some women also just need somebody to talk to. Just like in Among the Hidden, the government having a say in a woman's right to have a baby or not to have a baby just seems wrong.